actually working on a PlayStation 5 Pro and a new generation of Xbox already. This has just been confirmed by a technology company that's working on this next generation of tech, and I want to talk about it because we now have a release window and the first details about it.
Has not been confirmed.
Now, part of the reason this is just so baffling is because honestly, the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 as they currently exist are still incredibly rare. I mean, there is a reason that people keep calling this next gen tech, even though they've been out for almost 2 years.
He's not wrong.
I'm actually genuinely in shock, but let's take a look at all the leaks and who's working on this next generation of systems. What's up, gamers? Dreamcastguy here.
Who's working on the next generation of systems? If it was the next generation system, surely it should be PlayStation and Xbox, Microsoft and Sony working on the next generation system.
Please, if you could do me a favor, like this video. Let's see if we can get this video to 2,000 likes. I love you guys very much, and please subscribe. Okay, so check this out. We have a Tom Henderson tweet here talking about this new news conference.
Confirmed. We have a Tom Henderson tweet here.
That was happening over in Poland by a company called TCL Technology. Now, I decided to do some research. These people essentially are a big Japanese corporation that makes all sorts of different tech. It seems like the whole thing is that they don't really design it. It's more of like companies hire them to build stuff. It seems like they're good at their jobs. Well, what was happening is that they just did a big press conference talking about the fact that, hey, we're working on a bunch of different stuff. We have all sorts of major projects in production. And if you zoom in on the slides here, they're talking about the next generation of game consoles. You can see right here behind the gentleman, it says 2023, 2024. We are working on a new Xbox Series console, the PlayStation 5 Pro. Now,
are you kidding me? They're not working on it, dude. Are you kidding me? You think the TCL, the company who makes TVs and shit, are working on the PS5, and this guy is on another level of giving misinformation? Fucking Christ.
What's interesting is he steps aside here and they get a great shot about this. There's quite a bit of details in this that are actually kind of baffling because they are very, very, very detailed. So first and foremost, what is this? This is like 4K 60 to 100 frames a second, Ultra HD 8K 60 frames a second, 100.
8K, by the way, is something that this motherfucker on screen right now confirmed that was going to be on the base PS5 and the Xbox, the current ones. It is 8K possible, but it does not game at 8K. Yes, there is a game. I know the Survivor game, the very basic game that renders at 8K, but it's not the done thing. This guy promised 8K performance across the board.
20 frames a second. These are astronomically more powerful. Like right now, the current Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 are able to do Ultra HD. They are able to do very clear visuals, very clear resolution. But for the most part, it does feel like sometimes there is still a little bit of struggling frame rate. Like, just
he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Even if you are playing the brightest and flashiest console exclusives, a lot of times you are still choosing, okay, do I want it to be 100 frames a second but 1080p, or do I want it to have ray tracing and 1080p but it's 30 frames a second?
Agreed.
There is still a little bit of that power struggle between resolution or frame rate. And it seems like what they're trying to do with the PlayStation 5 Pro and the new Xbox Series X that apparently is in development is they're trying to make it so that everything will be perfect. This time around,
I'm genuinely shocked. Does Dreamcastguy genuinely think TLC is working on these consoles? Am I listening to him wrong? Or is this guy just completely stupid? He's genuinely thinking that TCL are working on these consoles and that Sony wouldn't have come out and talked about it. And Microsoft, we're building an 8K 120 hertz device coming later. Like, why would it be TCL?
You will get the true 4K, or in this case, maybe even 8K experience. Now, I'm additionally just shocked by the fact that they're even trying to this will be able to do 60 to 120 frames per second. Like, This is a pretty giant boost. I mean, this GPU must be very, very strong. But what else I kind of find interesting is the fact that they're talking about, essentially, they're bragging about the tech they've worked on. This is sort of like an investor reveal conference talking about why you should like their company, what their company is just tinkering with.
Guys, please do not listen to this guy for any tech news or information at all. Please don't.
Now, as you notice here, they talk about the importance of console generations. Generation 8 was obviously the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. And then right here, Generation 8.5, which I guess is the official distinction, it goes Xbox One X and S and the PlayStation 4 Pro. Now, I'm glad they put the dates here so you can see the original console was released 2013. We got the PlayStation 4 Pro in 2017, so just 4 short years. Now, it seems like, I guess internally, Sony and Microsoft want to repeat that exact console cycle. 2020, they were released.
This guy was on about TCL making this thing. Now he's saying,
so late 2024, early 2023, something like that. They want to try and have the next generation of consoles out. Now, let's just face facts. People don't seem to be very happy about this. Like, a lot of the replies are people saying, what's going on? This just seems crazy that they'd be trying to come out with more consoles, especially in the current climate. Jez Corden chiming in. Jez Corden has all sorts of crazy leaks. He's straight up saying, you know, these revisions are easier. If these revisions are easier to manufacture, this may not be that crazy. Like, that is a good point. If somehow these are easier to make, if these are lower cost, easier demand, maybe just more efficient, maybe in a weird way, it'll be more profitable for Sony and Microsoft to make these, even if they are more powerful. But so many people are just chiming in. Oh God, not again. Microsoft and Sony need to focus on games. We've had too much hardware in the last 5 years. I love how the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3 kept it down to one console without other annoying variations. Now, I'm seeing this talking point so freaking much. This news just broke 48 minutes ago. This is very, very fresh and hot off the presses. But what kind of strikes me is the fact that I do very much agree with this sentiment. Right now, I think video games are in a good spot. I've been very much enjoying just playing random stuff, indie games, big AAA games. I think a lot of the exclusives, especially the stuff that's been coming to PlayStation, has been fun. I love Returnal. I love Ratchet and Clank.
Fucking great game. All great games.
Fantastic.
Agree with you, bro.
But it just seems like there are these separate divisions inside of Sony and Microsoft that are trying to stay profitable. They're trying to stay important. Like, if I...
Dude, I'm pretty sure every single division at Microsoft and Sony are trying to stay profitable. That's how a business works. Money.
I could just completely spitball here for a second. Keep in mind, the people making games are not the people making hardware. Obviously, these are very, very, very different departments.
Yes, different companies too.
They're so obsessed with having console real estate, making more systems, making more options, making more choices, along with having more games to sell you. This just seems bonkers to even imagine a PlayStation 5 Pro when, like,
funny that
the PlayStation 5 is not just rare. I still feel like the PlayStation 5 and especially my Xbox Series X are so freaking strong. Like, the fact that they're trying to replace tech that in my mind is not only fresh, it still feels pretty dang cutting edge. But I've seen some people actually saying that right here, look, you got to stop looking at these 8K numbers because that isn't happening.
It's not.
They're going to support 8K video for content, not games. The main benefit of these new refresher consoles will be combining the visual look of resolution mode and 60 frames a second performance mode. Now, I do sadly agree with this. This is a little bit of a step down. I do know some people are going to have to temper their expectations, but dude, as much as we like the...
There is no way you're getting a game on a console anytime in the next 10 years to run at native 8K 60 FPS, let alone 120 FPS. 8K is so demanding even for an RTX 3090. It's ridiculous to even claim that these consoles, even if there is a PS5 Pro, will run anything at 8K 60 FPS. I know the game, or currently the survival, whatever it's called, as I said before, that renders at 8K, but I'm talking AAA games. There's no way you're going to get anything like that to run at 8K.
idea of gaming in the PlayStation 5 era with like 4K visuals or 8K visuals, stuff that's so crisp and so clear it looks like real life. You want blood and spatter effects to have every single little tiny droplet flying through the air and stuff like that. That technology is pretty much only going to exist for PC gamers for quite a bit. I mean, just the way that the architecture is built for the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, like having crazy resolution and crazy graphics and crazy frame rates, it's still kind of going to be a pick one. I think that this is going to be able to do probably 2K or 4K pretty well, and 60 frames a second.
I should hope so. The current PlayStation and Xbox, in fact, the Xbox Series S does 2K pretty well. The PS5 does 4K with upscaling. Okay, definitely 2K. Yeah, dude, the PS5. Well, by the way, the tongue. We'll get into Pokemon in a sec on stream, but I just wanted to watch this while I was eating. The current consoles do 2K very well. The freaking Pro version, if it even exists, should do flipping way more than just 2K well. Come on, Mal.
And to me, that is hopefully enough. But people are still saying that they think this is just speculation.
Of course it is.
I'm glad that people are just immediately catching on to the fact that this is just marketing speak.
Yeah, you weren't at the beginning of the video, mate.
Trying to sell consoles, that's trying to make
No, it's not. TCL do not make PlayStation and Xbox. TCL manufacture TVs. Go and look them up. They don't make PlayStations and Xboxes.
Talking up the consoles that we didn't even know existed. So I think some of this stuff right now is just, it's a lot of fluff, but still, even just scrolling.
Check out this Verbo. Oh, look at me.
Through this, it's baffling to think about this. Like the idea of a PlayStation 5 Pro, before we even have 50 PlayStation 5 games, the idea of an Xbox Series X XX, before most people even have an Xbox Series X. Like, I'm not sure this is going to work. I'm not sure how good of an idea this actually
this motherfucker, man,
turns out to be, but maybe when the stuff starts showing up, like right now with so many delays, so many pushbacks, so much stuff just still up in the air, this seems like the worst
you're right,
choice. But we do kind of have to take a step back and realize that Microsoft and Sony know more about the games than we do. That's not just...
Oh, fuck me. Talk about stating the obvious, man. Jesus Christ.
Some deflation talk. I am just saying that right now, Microsoft and Sony are working on projects that we have no idea even
Of course.
exist. Maybe there are big, powerful games in the pipeline. There's stuff that's finishing up. There's projects that are in the final stages and we just haven't seen them yet.
Of course.
Because honestly, if I could just completely make a crazy wild guess, imagine something like Silent Hill, the rumored Silent Hill remake, which I've been incredibly hyped about. Silent Hill in 4K with 120 frames a second. Dogs jumping out and trying to eat your delicious soggy eyeballs. That sounds like the future of gaming. But tell me your thoughts in the comments down below.
This guy has no idea what he's talking about, and on a daily basis it shocks me that this guy has 218,000 subscribers, and this is what he actually thinks that could come. Like a game like Silent Hill, any single player game will never prioritize frame rate like 120 hertz. It just won't on console. It's not what the mass market of average consumers want, which is the most common person to buy a PlayStation or an Xbox. PC, yes. People are going for the 120 hertz, the 240 hertz, the 360 hertz, and soon 400, because I've already seen stuff on monitors recently about that. They're never going to do a game like that, and it's not going to run. Just this guy baffles me. I don't understand how he gets how he takes the news and twists it so much. There's even articles about the fact that this has been disproven already, that TCL did not have anything. And I've got a video coming out, or already is out on my channel, about this. This guy just, I don't understand. I don't understand this guy at all, and it bothers me that so many people react and listen to this guy's channel when he's got so many subscribers. It's kind of concerning, but I got nothing more to say.